What up, though, y'all? It's Chris. Appreciate you connecting with me while I do these 10,000 steps. It's a bunch of stuff happening right now, ain't it? We got Judge Mathis, we got Tyrese, got Chad Ochocinco chick talking about she was cheating on her ex-husband with him. You know, it's a lot, man. It look like I got a few other things to go over. But let's talk about Tyreek Hill and him getting detained on his way to play football. Like, what in the world? Apparently this happened Sunday. He was on his way to play. I don't know if he was running behind or what. I couldn't tell you. I don't know if bro man was running behind, but I guess he might have been speeding or something of that nature. I don't know. I don't know how much over the speed limit he was going. I don't even know if he was speeding. That's just what the report I saw was saying, you know. So I'm taking it with a grain of salt because I don't know for a fact the details. But he got pulled over, and he had a bit of a aggressive attitude right off rip with the cops that I probably wouldn't have taken. You know, he seemed agitated, very aggressive, very confrontational. You know, he was rolling the window up, you know, just kind of doing the things that, you know, are gonna, you know, drive the cops, you know, to be on a power trip. You know, a lot of these cops out here, listen, a lot of these cops out here, they on some power trip. And it's not in your benefit to try to challenge them because they kind of have the upper hand. They can really mess up your day. And I don't have time for that stuff. I've never had one of these negative interactions with the police. And the reason why that is because I really don't want to waste more time on some ticket than I have to. If I'm going 5 over or something like that and they about to pull me over to give me a ticket, I'm about to just go ahead and cooperate. As long as they not asking me any really crazy out-of-pocket stuff, demanding any, you know, goofy stuff, I'm going to just go ahead and cooperate so I can just get my ticket and keep it moving. I don't want to sit there with them any second longer than I have to. And that's what's always worked for me, and that's what I recommend that brothers do for the most part. You know, Tyreek Hill, he kind of went about it a different way. And this in no way justifies the cops' actions. They was just being way over the top. I am just saying that this wouldn't have went like this if he would have just, you know, if he would have chose to go about it my way rather than the way he did go about it. But, you know, they were like, roll the window down and this and that. And you really aren't. You don't have to roll the window all the way down. I think you could like roll it down like an inch or something like that and just talk to him through that. That's legal. But he rolled it all the way up and this agitated them. And again, a lot of these cops, they are on a power trip, okay? They were underachievers in school. They weren't very special. You know, they weren't the jock. You know, they weren't class smart guy. They weren't the class funny guy. They weren't any of those things. So they be on some power trip when they out there and about in the streets. And I don't have time for them to live out their little power trip fantasy on me. You know, many of these dudes mad as hell at the world still because they ain't get enough pussy in high school. I'm dead ass serious. Many of these motherfuckers is still out here mad as hell because bitches ain't like them when they was in high school. So here he is. He's the jock. We don't even have to include race in it. Here he is, just a jock. He's the successful jock that all the chicks in high school liked instead of him. So here is his opportunity to exert his authority and dominance over him in this situation, and Tyreek Hill played into it. You know, they all like, you know, they was just being really extra. You know, oh, get out of the car. You know, so they want to get him out of the car. They want to drag him out. It was hot in Florida this last weekend. I don't know what the exact temperature was, but I know it was hot in Florida. And they had them, they had them face down on the pavement or whatever, while they cuffing them and stuff, putting knees on them. The stuff that they do, to try to humiliate you and show you who's boss. The stuff they do to try to humble you. That normal BS. I mean, all that was extra as it is. But what really did it for me, to where I'm like, bro, what are you doing? He's standing there talking to one of the officers, and he's not tripping at all. He is just talking. And one of the officers just like comes from behind and aggressively like jumps on him to force him down to the ground to sit down. And he is cuffed and is posing no threat. All he's doing is just speaking to the officer that he's facing. And I'm like, bro, what are you doing, man? Like, why are you acting like this? I'm glad he wasn't hurt. He was able to go play. He scored a touchdown. When he did the touchdown, his celebration was, putting his arms behind his back, faking like he was being arrested. That was fun and all that sort of stuff. But that could have went really bad for him, man. Especially with that cop acting the way that he did. He could have seriously injured him. Acting like that. He could have seriously injured him. The way he jumped on him like that from behind, forced him to the ground, he could have, twisted his leg or whatever so that his knee bends a way that it ain't supposed to, twist the way that it ain't supposed to, anything. And I seen some reports saying that he's been suspended or something. I don't know if that's true or not. A lot of times these cops that's on these power kicks, they do a lot of this stupid stuff. They be way over the top and they get away with it because of qualified immunity. Whenever they do something really dumb and it's on body cam, their chief doesn't seem to really care all that much, kind of defends them no matter what. Now, I'm not saying don't defend your peoples. Of course, defend your peoples, go to bat for your peoples. But if you see that they are clearly in the wrong, the way that cop was acting, it's stuff like that creates the divide between the people of the community and the officers that are supposed to protect the community. Because if you acting like that with this guy and he's a high-profile pro athlete, it makes you wonder, how do y'all act with regular people who don't have the visibility to fight back the way that he does? He was able to, obviously he was able to get out of it and be released in time to go play. Obviously he was able to pull some strings. He got connections in the NFL. And we got we got a cop car coming this way. Y'all see it? Let's see. I always attract the noise. They about to go on their way. As I was saying, he's a high profile person. He's got a lot of visibility. And he has legal representation and all sorts of connections through the NFL, so they're able to get the body cam footage released. They got that body cam footage fast. I was actually impressed, because usually you can't put in a request for body cam footage and get it released that quickly, but they did. And the way that cop acted, super aggressive like that, it's just not a good look. There is already at large an opinion about the police of they behave aggressively, more towards a certain demographic than others. And they deny it, but of course they would. But that's not even the thing that's, like the silly part here. Deny it or whatever. When you have footage like this, and you're denying that you behave that way with a certain demographic, is conflicting. You know, you can't be like, oh no, we don't do that. But then here it is, this guy here, he's a high profile athlete and he really ain't do nothing except, you know, talk. Ultimately, aside from, you know, if he was speeding, he should have just got a ticket. All that stuff of pulling him out of his car and all that because he wanted to roll his window up was just silly and unnecessary. Get his credentials from him, write him a ticket and send him on his way. You know, because this going above and beyond to wreck his day or whatever just because you want to show him who's in charge here, it's just silly, man. You know, because no matter what you do here, if you're the cop, no matter what you do here, you're the loser. Because what you're doing for him is only temporary. You know, you're writing him a ticket that he can easily afford. You're inconveniencing him. He did not seem to be worried whatsoever in that situation. He did not seem worried. They was talking about they was going, you know, I guess take him to jail or whatever. He did not seem worried. He like, take me to jail. Even though it meant he was going to miss the game, he was not worried at all. And the reason why he wasn't worried is because he knows that ultimately when this is done, he going to go back to his life and you going to go back to yours. All you did was just temporarily inconvenience him. You didn't humble him in any way. You damn sure didn't teach him a lesson in any sort of way. You just really made yourself look bad in a situation where you didn't have to. So those are my thoughts on this situation with Tyreek Hill. Is a really unnecessary situation. I don't believe that Tyreek Hill should have been as, you know, aggressive like he was when initially being stopped, but he was, and that's not a crime. So could he have handled that differently? Yes. But what he did wasn't a crime, and it didn't warrant all that other extra stuff afterwards. So when it's all said and done, the cop is the one that looks really bad here. You got people who defend police no matter what they do. That even they saying this cop was just tripping. So do with that what you will. When people who always defend the police, even they are saying this cop was way over the line on some power trip, that's saying something. I'm gonna leave it here, y'all. Appreciate y'all connecting with me. Hit me with that thumbs up. Subscribe if you haven't already. I'm gonna holler at y'all soon. Peace.